the continued rise of the opioid epidemic, marijuana legalization, and changes to DOT testing regulations, managers need to refresh themselves on the requirements and the importance of reasonable suspicion to keep the workplace safe. Reasonable suspicion is described as a set of circumstances that give you a reason to conduct a fitness for duty assessment of an employee based on objective observations. Supervisors often fear being sued or having a labor grievance action brought against them because of their decision to conduct a reasonable suspicion test. These fears can be minimized if supervisors remember that requiring an employee to submit to a reasonable suspicion test is not an accusation of drug or alcohol use, nor is it an attempt to diagnose substance abuse or addiction. Rather, it is a method for ruling out a possible cause for employee behavior or appearance that is cause for concern. For the FMCSA, they must complete at least 2 hours of supervisor training, 1 hour on signs and symptoms associated with drug use, and 1 hour on signs and symptoms associated with alcohol misuse. For owner-operators, if your partner is acting as management and handling books and scheduling while you're on the road, they need reasonable suspicion training. If both drive, then both individuals would need training since both are considered to be supervising while the other drives. The supervisor's role is to identify the specific observations of employee behavior or appearance that justify a reasonable suspicion test, confront the employee concerning their requirement to undergo reasonable suspicion testing, and fully explain the consequences of the employee's refusal to comply. Reasonable suspicion testing is used to determine that alcohol or drugs are not the cause of the observed behavior or appearance. Drug testing is a mechanism to determine if the employee has used a prohibited drug, regardless of when or what amount. Even if the reasonable suspicion test cannot be conducted, the employer is still required to remove any employee from safety-sensitive duties if their behavior or appearance is indicative of being under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Deciding that a reasonable suspicion test is necessary involves the supervisor's specific interaction with the employee and should always be made based on current signs and symptoms. Generally, a reasonable suspicion drug test would not be merited on a past incident. To learn the regulations and importance of reasonable suspicion, how to handle the situation, the process and documentation required, and how to stay in compliance with the regulations, our DOT trainers offer a variety of in-person or online training courses. All training programs can be geared to the specific needs or weaknesses of your company, including reasonable suspicion training for managers. You can review all of our training programs at courses.cnsprotects.com.